You're on record saying that Donald Trump will win the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. And when I was preparing for this segment with you today, you're on record saying that Donald Trump will win the 2024 Republican presidential nomination. And when I was preparing for this segment with you today, I was going to present you with all these polls showing Ron DeSantis way ahead of Trump. And then there was a poll this morning saying that Trump is ahead of DeSantis by 17 points in one poll. You were suggesting he's not even posing much of a threat. That was a few months back. You still feel that way?
Yeah, and it has nothing to do with my assessment of Ron DeSantis as an individual politician or, who I would vote for necessarily. But I think Trump really remains the elephant in the room, and he's unmovable by DeSantis or anyone else. And even if that poll hadn't come out this morning, Dan, I would be standing by what I said before, because Trump has a unique base of support unlike anything else we've seen. And while DeSantis is beloved, probably, maybe, by more Republicans, that's not going to help him unless everybody else gets out of the race. It's not going to be man-to-man. It's going to be Trump, DeSantis, Pompeo, Pence, and so on. And in a split field, this is how Trump got the nomination back in 2015-16, in a split field, Trump wins. His core 30% is all he needs to get the GOP nomination. And frankly, that core 30% is going to decide the election in the general as well. Because if Trump gets the election, he gets the GOP nomination, and then he goes forward, that's a critical piece of the GOP base. But if DeSantis beats him, let's say DeSantis does beat him, okay? And the rest of the field leaves so that DeSantis can be the anointed one, and he beats Trump. You really think Trump is going to go quietly into the night and say, you know what? I lost fair and square, and now I'm going to get behind. No, he's going to be a spoiler. He's going to tell his voters not to go home. He might tell them to vote for the Democrat. He might run as a third party if he can get on the ballot in time. There's just everything we know about this man tells us he will not go gently into the night and pass the baton to the new blood.
Colorado this week, and for those of you who may not know, is the 14th. Trump's 14th Amendment trial begins in Colorado this week, and for those of you who may not know, is the 14th Amendment has within it that no one who is engaged in insurrection against the United States of America or of its officers are allowed to hold office in the United States, an elected office. And the central question there is if Trump engaged in an insurrection.
Yeah.
You investigated that question for over a year in the January 6th committee. Is there enough evidence that he did indeed do that?
Oh, I think absolutely. I think he absolutely engaged in insurrection. I went into that investigation trying to have an open mind, and I came out very convinced that Donald Trump wasn't just some guy riding a boat in the rough seas. He actually directed this insurrection to happen. Now, my thing on the 14th Amendment issue is I think they'd be frankly right to kick Donald Trump off the ballot because of this question. I think this is the law. This is the Constitution. I would just personally much rather see him get crushed at the ballot box, because I think to yet get rejected again, Donald Trump is a loser who keeps losing, and I think to lose again will be important to heal this nation. And frankly, you have one very sick party in the GOP. To begin to heal that, they have to lose and lose and lose.
Trump's 14th Amendment trial begins in Colorado this week, and for those of you who may not know, is the 14th Amendment has within it that no one who is engaged in insurrection against the United States of America or of its officers are allowed to hold.
From being on the primary ballot, the Colorado Supreme Court ruling that Donald Trump has now been disqualified from being on the primary ballot for the GOP. The Colorado Supreme Court now issuing a 200-something page opinion that we've just got. The sum of these parts is this: President Trump is disqualified from holding the office of president under Section 3. Because he's disqualified, it would be a wrongful act under the election code for the secretary to list him as a candidate on the presidential primary ballot. We do not reach these conclusions lightly. We are likewise mindful of our solemn duty to apply the law without fear or favor and without being swayed by public reaction to the decisions that the law mandates we reach. The Colorado Supreme Court ruling that Donald Trump has now been disqualified from being on the primary ballot for the GOP. The Colorado Supreme Court now issuing a 200-something page opinion that we've just got.
Continues in his campaign. I'm not sure they can, any one of them, or if President Trump continues in his campaign, I'm not sure they can, any one of them can make it through and beat him. I think he's got such a strong base of, I don't know, 30 or 40% of the Republican voters, or maybe more. It's going to be hard to knock him off as our nominee. If he became a nominee, I think he loses again. And
would you support him if he's the nominee?
Absolutely not. And I mean, I get asked that. Look, I voted to remove him from office twice, so...
I knew what your answer was going to be, but I had to ask.
But the answer is, and it's not just because he loses. I mean, that's my reason that I offer to other people who are big fans of his, but it's also he's simply not a person who ought to have the reins of the government of the United States. Or if President Trump continues in his campaign, I'm not sure any one of them can make it through and beat him.
Sense of loss. It's as if he may be thinking more about what he's lost.
Roberts is the English psychic who is on set to give us a reading right now. I would like, Paula, for you to give me a reading on President Trump.
Just the one card?
One card.
One card. Let's do just one card. We like that one.
What is that?
I mean, I do recognize that I'm at Fox TV. A sense of loss. A sense of loss. But it's very specific. No, let me move on. It's a sense of loss. It's as if he may be thinking more about what he's lost and not still taking full advantage of what he still has.
That's a great interpretation, Paula.
It's true. I mean, I don't make it up.
Let's see President Joe Biden. What will his year look like?
Let's look at Joe Biden. Lots and lots and lots and lots of money. Lots of money. I mean,
from China?
Oh, you are cheeky. I didn't say from where.
Lots of money.
A lot of money.
Is very interesting.
I mean, above, okay, for whatever is his normal, it's way above. That's when I say lots.
Wow.
Because I deal with everybody of every possible income, so that's a lot.
All right, I'm going to put you in touch with James Comer after this reading. Please tell us what Jesse Waters' year will look like.
And I've got something more to tell you about that, but... It's an interesting aspect of the young, dynamic, very, very, very bright person. Quick, well, I don't know about you, don't know you so well, but somebody quick, bright, sharp. When it says young, it doesn't mean say immature, but with still that amount of energy.
Not immature, you're saying?
No.
Are you sure mine wasn't the money card?
I do not change what I see.
Okay, Paula.
But actually, three other things came up for you when I was contemplating coming here today. And I'm just going to throw them out. I'll do the neutral ones first. I got Greece, Australia, and baby.
Another baby?
Well, that's what I came up with.
Emma Roberts is the English psychic who is on set to give us a reading right now.
Hello friends, we come to the end already. Have you subscribed yet? Yes, press the subscribe button and the like button and the share button. Thank you and have a nice day.